Welcome, everybody, to Cinema Royale. I am Travis Hobson of PunchDrunkCritics.com, and I think you can probably tell from the shirts. Yes, that is Batman. We are going to be talking about the Batman on this episode, and I couldn't think of anybody better to have with me to talk about it than my homie, Julian Lytle, writer. Used to write for PunchDrunkCritics.com, and my homie now, and he knows more about this stuff, a lot more than even I do. Especially when it comes to DC Comics, he knows. So I couldn't think of anybody better to have with me. And he sat next to me during the movie. So, of course, I kind of got an idea of how he feels about it, but I still want to talk to him and pick his brain a little bit. So how you doing, Julian? How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay today. Ready to talk about this Batman. Batman action.
Yeah, let's talk about the Batman. So this is directed by Matt Reeves. Now, this movie kind of came out of the ashes of Ben Affleck's failed Batman movie that he was going to make. And that kind of crashed and burned when he kind of got burned out of the whole superhero thing. Matt Reeves stepped in. Matt Reeves, the guy who gave us the two best Planet of the Apes movies, and that trilogy by far. Cloverfield. And didn't he do Let Me In also? He did Let Me In.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He Let Me In.
That was a good remake. Yeah, that was a good remake.
Yeah, he's a really great filmmaker. And I was curious about how his Batman was going to be, especially when they cast Robert Pattinson. Now, I don't want to sit here and act like I was championing Robert Pattinson, but I wasn't exactly down on him either. I was curious more than anything else. And Julian, my first takeaway from the Batman, one of many, is that Robert Pattinson is nearly perfect for this version of Batman. It was a movie that's deeply emotional, goes into his past, his regrets, and all sorts of things. He's very intense, a little bit wild and uncontrolled. I would say at times kind of like he was in that Safdie Brothers movie, whose name I keep forgetting.
Good Time?
Good Time. A little bit like that on occasion. I think he was really good in this. One of my favorite people to suit up as the Dark Knight. What were your initial impressions of Robert Pattinson?
Honestly, I think he might be the best all-around Bruce Wayne Batman we've gotten.
Wow.
Like, he plays both. They're not two different paths in this. It's one person.
Yeah.
Because the nature of the character in the movie, he hasn't made two personas. He doesn't have a public persona and a personal private persona. It's just like Bruce Wayne in the house, he goes out as Batman. So overall, you got to see the tortured young man, you got to see the Batman, you start to see his focus, and it had a nice little bit of dry wit and humor in there too. That wasn't like overbearing or takes you out of anything.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of longing because people forget Batman be on some lovey-dovey stuff a lot of the time too. He had that right amount of heartthrob lovey-doveyness. The Twilight fans into it. They're like, yeah, that works. That works.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically year 2 Batman for people who don't know. This is like his second year as being Batman. So this is not grizzled veteran Batman that we got from Ben Affleck for the last few years from Zack Snyder. It's not the Michael Keaton Batman who's also more experienced. This is a Batman who's almost like a boogeyman in Gotham City #1, but looking at just Bruce Wayne, he is completely, like you said, it's like one person, not like two separate people, two separate lives. He's completely obsessed at this point. He's like you said, well, he's one person. He's the same person when he goes out as Batman as he is when he's back at Wayne Manor. He's completely consumed by this at this point in his career as a crime fighter, which makes his dynamic with Alfred a little bit more interesting. Alfred, played by Andy Serkis. What do you think about that dynamic between Bruce Wayne and Alfred?
It was interesting because it was very combative. It was a young man still trying to figure out his way and rebelling against his father figure in a way we've never really seen before. We see sometimes where Bruce/Batman goes his own way and doesn't listen to Alfred, but this was like straight up like, yo, you ain't my dad. Like, fall back. And then it's like things happen. It's just like, oh no, Alfred, no, 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 no. It's like, yeah, all right. He's like, you learning things. It's clearly young. This is young Batman. It's like, I don't know how to deal with all this adulting yet. I just want to punch people in the face. It's good. It got it in there. I was like, okay, this is complete house manager Alfred and not like butler Alfred. Like,
Yeah.
this was an estate. He's telling the people who actually do the actual maid work and butlering what to do. And he's out here, solving puzzles and doing the New York, I guess the Gotham Times crossword to keep his mind tight.
Yeah, this is a little bit different relationship between Bruce and Alfred. And I liked it though, which I think made the casting of Andy Serkis even better. Casting this movie all around was perfect. And it extends to Zoe Kravitz, who plays Selena Kyle, Catwoman. She gets involved in the story. And we're not going to try to give away too much of the plot for people who ain't seen the movie, but she gets involved in the story when a friend of hers is kidnapped and gets kind of in the middle of this crime wave, this serial killings by the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. And talk about more perfect casting. Paul Dano is amazing as the Riddler. Unlike any Riddler you ever seen. This ain't Jim Carrey, goofy neon lime suit and orange hair Riddler. This is murderous Riddler. This is hardcore Riddler. The first time we see him, he basically beats the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, like.
But it was the way he did it. It was the way he kind of emerged out of the shadows that was like, oh shit, this is like some Zodiac David Fincher shit going on right here.
Yeah, it went full Fincher on that one. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, I'm not used to, like, you playing with some stuff here. If this was a comic book, this is the mature prestige series. You're not coming out with this ain't the regular monthly issue Batman. This is some special stuff. He just come out of. It's interesting because he has his glasses on over his suit, and I think that little idiosyncrasy, see that right there was like, oh, this is different. This is the whole like there's always this thing with, especially with modern Batman comics, where what happened is Batman dealing with the crime, or did he inspire like an entire new type of crime?
Yeah.
By him just dressing up in his outfit.
Yep.
It does as well because it still has the gangsters in here. And I think that's the more interesting part why the filmmakers want to keep going back to like that early Batman because of the stories they told. Post year one is like there's organized crime, and then you switch over to like the costume rogues in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
And they showed that well because my man was really out here in a suit he made up and some pair of Warby Parker clear plastic glasses, like it was regular in the streets.
And the suit itself was interesting too, because it kind of looked like when a serial killer like wraps himself in like garbage bags so he don't get blood on him. But it also, on around his face, he kind of looked like a metal man. Like it was like, because it was green and it was shiny and it kind of looked like a metal man.
Yeah.
It was really.
And he had like this little nose bridge thing, so he could like, you really tried to make this into a costume,
right? And look, I don't know how many iconic performances by the Riddler there have been. I mean, there have been some, I guess, but this is the way I want to see Riddler. This is a crazy Riddler. This is Paul Dano's Riddler is the version of Riddler I want to see from now on.
Yeah, I like it because it's an interesting, well thought out take.
Yeah.
My issues with the Jim Carrey Riddler was he was trying to do an overtop version of the 60s TV show.
Yep.
And it wasn't as good as the 60s TV show. Right. So it's just right there. I was like, not doing a lot. And it's just interesting that somebody to finally come back around and say, yo, the Riddler is a great villain for Batman to have to solve a puzzle. Like, you keep wanting to do Joker. Joker really don't really care about actually detective stuff. He'll lay out everything in front of you. But the Riddler's like, nah, you gotta find this. Yeah. You up here like you playing. You out here like you playing the daggone Arkham games. Like I gotta go find 100 things to get to. You gotta
solve this Wordle first, Batman, before you can get through this.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. Look, that's one of the things I like about this movie, and I'm curious what you think about how people are going to react to it. because to me it doesn't really feel like a superhero movie at all. It feels like a detective story. It feels like a crime story. And one of the things I liked about it, and yeah, there's physicality to it, there's action to it, but it feels like a procedural a lot of the time. And I dug that aspect of it, that it actually put his analytical skills, his detective skills, where he's most often paired with Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon, which is a great duo, by the way. It put that front and center, which we don't often get to see in the movies because they got to be cinematic and blockbustery and all that kind of stuff. It's different, but I'm curious what you think. Are you think people are going to like that about it though?
You know what? I think people are going to like it, but I'm not. I'm actually surprised with some of the reviews I've read, especially from some people we actually know,
Mm-hmm.
how they like not really feeling it. And it's also to me, it's like, but folks who read comics will be asking for the Detective Batman in the movie for like what, 13, 14 years at this point.
It's
Like,
one of those things that filmmakers always promise and then never deliver.
never deliver. And this Matt Reeves delivered, because it was like mystery unraveling, another mystery unraveling to another mystery. Is like, and Batman solving it, and he's like, boom, I gotta do this. And I was like, what, this is what we asked for, and it's done immaculately. I do think the fight scenes are the best Batman fight scenes I've ever seen. As
Definitely,
a martial arts movie fan,
definitely got the
like,
best car chase.
oh, bro, it was parts bullet, little injection of fast up in there by his car, sounded like a monster. Like, explosions. I was in heaven. Like, it was like, it was wonderful to see. Like, because after a while, I literally got sick of seeing Batman driving tanks and weird military vehicles. I'm like,
Yeah,
just like, that's not what I had as a kid. I had a car.
the Batmobile has become like this weird fetish thing with Batman movies. It's like every single filmmaker who wants to do one or does one feels like they have to make the Batmobile like bigger and more like armored up and you see it progress like year after year. It was funny. You've been there, you know how it is. When you go to Comic-Con and you see like the row of Batmobiles, like they have them out, and you look at the progression of them, and you're like, looks less and less like the Batmobile.
Like, I don't even know what this is now. Like, is this Metal Gear? Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, this one is like an actual car, and it's funny. It's awesome when it first shows up, and then it gets this amazing car chase involving Colin Farrell's Penguin. I can't say enough about how our friend Tim, who was sitting next to me, didn't know that was Colin Farrell. He didn't know at all. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
he looked like Al Pacino out of Untouchables. He looked like freaking Al Capone. I'm like, how did y'all, like, y'all, if y'all don't get this Oscar 12 months from now?
Amazing. Let's talk about Zoe Kravitz though, as Selena Kyle Catwoman. Slightly different Catwoman. Look, this whole movie's a lot more grounded than other Batman movies are. I like her take on Catwoman. Yeah, she's still sexy, but it's not overt. At least not to me. She's just Zoe Kravitz sexy.
It's good. It's because Zoe Kravitz is actually super attractive.
She can't not be sexy. So I mean, but it's not like overt. She's fearless. She's resourceful. She's tough. She's loyal. I like the dynamic between her and Bruce because she's like an open book and he's just like totally closed off. I love that dynamic between the two of them. What did you think about her portrayal of Catwoman?
I'll be honest, it's the best Catwoman we got in the movie. Like, sans the animate, like an animated one. Like,
yeah,
this is the only one that you got a full true picture of Selena, because even when they brought in Anne Hathaway for The Dark Knight Rises, you only got like a piece of like her life and her wants and desires. She was more like some type of like Jiminy Cricket for like Batman to like care about poor people and come back to be Batman. But then she has her whole own, she's a partner, an ally to Batman, because she got a whole own arc and trajectory of people she want to deal with. It just happens to coincide with Batman, which I thought was much like how Catwoman is in the comics, especially now. And clearly, it feels like they setting her up to make her a movie. Like I'm like, oh, give me a Zoe Kravitz Catwoman movie.
I,
I'll be there
yeah, I'd
day
love to
one.
see a Zoe Kravitz HBO Max series, sort of like how the Penguin's getting. Would be really
Yeah,
cool. But I really
show
think,
her robbing people.
yeah, I mean, she's got her own ideology in this movie. Like she's sort of an eat the rich type, which makes it funny because she's paired up with Bruce Wayne, and she has
The
like
richest dude in the city.
she has a really funny a line in the movie too. You know, it's like, you sound like a rich person, like under the mask.
Yeah.
You sound like a rich person. And he didn't say nothing back to her about it because it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
But
I'm rich.
his wealth plays a role in this, unlike in any other movie where his wealth is usually seen as like this great asset for him. It's not so much an asset for him in this. It's kind of a hindrance, actually. Like his wealth, his privilege, it's a problem. And that's different than any other version of Bruce Wayne Batman that I can remember on the screen.
That's true. I also think that like when they were writing this movie, they saw all those bad Twitter takes. It was like, oh, so you just think money can solve all the problems in the city, huh?
Right.
Okay, we're gonna show you how cities actually work. No matter how much money's there, it's still corruption. And I was like, that's right. That's right. Batman can't write a check to solve this. It ain't gonna work. Yep. Like, yeah, he is privileged. He don't get everything, but he's still, after police. That's what I enjoy. Batman was clearly anti-police, except for Jim Gordon. It's the only police he liked.
Oh man, I had a blast with this. 3 hours, comes in just under 3 hours, which to me I even mentioned it in my reviews, like halfway through it, I was like, this movie's freaking amazing. And you were like, still like 90 minutes left, and it's like, but I wasn't, but I wasn't hurting it. Like it could have gone another hour and I would have been happy to exist in this Gotham for another hour at least. Did it feel like too long to you? I can't think of what they needed to cut.
They don't need to cut. I'm like you. I'm like, yo, y'all could have actually gave me 15 more minutes. Like, y'all could have pulled the Lord of the Rings and give me an extended cut, and I'll still be sitting in there like, yeah, okay, keep going. Like, that's the only movie where like you get an hour and a half in and you don't even feel like it. It felt like with 20 minutes, it's like, yo, we got so much more left to do. Like,
I was like, hey, there's a whole other movie that's left.
That movie's. That first act of some movies like whole movie. Like he's like, oh,
yeah,
so much has happened.
Pretty crazy. And there are scenes that we know have been cut out, in particular with the character that shows up at the end of the movie. So yeah. And that
inmate 0000 whatever, I don't know.
Yep.
Some person.
Yeah, some person. So yeah, they're clearly teasing something for the future here. I can't wait to see it. I think Matt Reeves has done, the best Batman movie I've ever seen. I love all of the Nolan movies. I love them. I still love them. But this is the one that got me the most amped up, the most hyped. And so I'm pretty excited about this one. I can't wait to see it again this weekend. I already got my ticket, so I'm going to see it again.
Oh, okay. I just want to buy it. I just like, wow. How come the pre-order ain't up on Amazon already? I was checking, and then I was like, yo, where's that? You probably pre-order that 4K UHD, whatever they're going to steelbook, whatever. Just let me. It's not there yet. It's not there. I want it right now. Like, yeah, like the movie is great, and it's recency bias. I don't want to say it's the best one yet. I need to watch it as many times as I watched The Dark Knight.
Yeah, of course.
It's easy top 3, and because I count Master of the Phantasm. It's top 3 easy.
Master of the Phantasm is tough to beat for me too.
Like
Phantasm. In fact, if we're talking about Batman movies that we see the most, I've seen that one more than any Batman movie. So
yeah, so it's up in that level of story. It's just a piece of cinema. It's just real good. It's a good movie. Like, it's gonna get people talking. It has a real good thorough line. You're right. It's like a crime thriller, serial killer movie, political drama. It's like everything is in it, and it's just like, and you got Batman beating people up in the club. Like, do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying?
Really cool take on the Gotham underworld. I loved it, from John Turturro to Colin Farrell's Penguin. Like I said, I liked all of it. I think this movie is fantastic from top to bottom. So I hope it does huge this weekend. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm expecting that it will. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. But
it actually opens in China, so it's going to make money.
Yeah, so
it actually opens in China.
Go open everywhere but Russia. Russia's not getting anything. Hey, so. Russia's not getting anything.
They're gonna bootleg it anyway. So.
Oh man, well, Julian, this has been fantastic, man. I appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you for inviting me.
About the Batman. Like I said, I couldn't think of anybody else I want to have on here to talk about it with me. So tell everybody where they can find your stuff at right now, and anything special that you got coming
up. Social media, Julian Lytle, Lytle. Most of my reviews right now are on adobe.com. I share that on all my social media. I consult on the CW DC show Naomi, so you guys watch it, check it out, and help make sure it gets like a season 2 or something, because it's a good show, and you can buy that comic too. Good character.
There you go. All right, my friend. Thanks again. This has been Cinema Royale. I'm Travis Hobson of punchdrunkcritics.com. You can find me every day there. You can find me on social media at Punchy Critic, and on Punch Drunk Critics on Twitter as well at PDC Movies. And of course, you can see me on WETA Around Town, Channel 26, and a bunch of other places too. All right. Thanks again, Julian. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Go check out The Batman this weekend. I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.